Good morning. I'll be talking today about several ways we can effectively deal with the past and how the past can be used in constructive ways for a better present and a better future. We all have things in our past that we regret. We've all made mistakes. None of us has led a perfect life without personal or family drama and trauma. Everyone has a backstory about events that they wish didn't happen and that they'd like to totally forget about and or be totally forgiven for. Some past event that you regret probably comes to mind for you right now. For me, the experience that I have the deepest regret for happened during the summer after I was in 6th grade when I was about 12 years old. My sister and brother and I were playing in our front yard, and my dad was working on a friend's lawnmower in the garage. My dad and his friend wanted to test the lawnmower after they had worked on it, and they wheeled it out of the garage with its motor running. I started talking to my dad and unintentionally distracted him. While we were talking, without thinking, my dad reached under the mower to pick it up to clear a short retaining wall along the edge of the driveway and ended up cutting off parts of several of his fingers. It was an awful injury, and I always felt very guilty about distracting him, although it was unintentional. During the many years that passed by afterwards, I wanted to talk to my dad about my role in his injury, but it was such a painful memory that I just couldn't bring myself to talk to him about it. When he was dying in 2004, I finally told him that I was so sorry I distracted him and how deeply I regretted it. He couldn't speak at that point, but I knew he could hear me, and I was relieved that I had finally told him about my role in that awful accident before he passed away. That was the one thing in my past I would have given anything to change. But you can't change past events, no matter how much pain or regret they cause. As Shakespeare's Lady Macbeth said, "What's done is done and cannot be undone." Joy's now going to play a song called A Better Past. This is by Anstey McLean and the Trailer Park Troubadours, and it's from their Beige album.
Well, I've spent so much of my precious time going back to the scenes of my crimes, raking over the past with a fine-tooth comb, stirring up what I should have just left alone. And my demons always come up short. They got nothing new left to report. There's plenty of baggage and they dig down deep. I don't gain a thing, I just lose more sleep. Those days are gone and they went by fast. There's nothing I can do, the die is cast. I think I'm seeing the light at last. Giving up hope for a better past. Giving up hope. Giving up all hope for a better past. About yesterday, so I'm putting that cat o' nine tails away. Stop beating me up when things go wrong. Say sorry and mean it to move along. The good times, they were always there as well, but I just let the clouds come gray. tick on and they went by fast. There's nothing I can do, the die is cast. I think I'm seeing the light at last. Giving up hope for a better past. Giving up hope. Giving up all hope for a better past.
This musician's first name is 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐸, and that's because when he was a little kid, he couldn't stop moving around, so he kept the nickname 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐸 for his whole life. And one of his main points in the song, of course, is that it's time to give up hope for a better past. There's nothing he or anyone else can do to change the past. He also emphasized that you shouldn't beat yourself up about the past. Here are some lyrics from the song. Can't do a thing about yesterday, so I'm putting that cat o' nine tails away. Stop beating me up when things go wrong. Say sorry and mean it and move along. To get over the past, you first have to accept that the past is over. No matter how many times you revisit it, analyze it, regret it, or sweat it, it's over. That's a quote from Mandy Hale. One thing I sometimes do and always regret is to replay past bad or hurtful scenes over and over in my head, and it often feels like these scenes are on an infinite loop. I try hard to catch myself when I'm doing this, and I ask myself questions like, how many years ago did this happen? And sometimes the answer is decades ago, and I ask, why am I even thinking about this now? And does anybody else on the planet still care about this now? The answers to those three questions are usually sufficient to get me to stop wasting time ruminating about my past. Here are a few more lyrics from the song. Well, I've spent so much of my precious time going back to the scenes of my crimes, raking over the past with a fine-tooth comb, stirring up what I just should have left alone. Try to catch yourself when you're ruminating about the past and do your best to bring yourself back to the present moment. When negative thoughts are running through my brain and I'm cutting myself down, I sometimes ask myself, would I be talking to a friend like this? I try to remember that it's very important to be gentle and kind to yourself and to treat yourself as you would treat a friend. Another important way to deal with the past is to accept the important decisions you've made and don't waste time second-guessing yourself. To move forward, you need to stop focusing on the what-ifs and instead put your energy into your present life and your future. Yogi Berra, the legendary catcher for the Yankees, famously said, when you get to a fork in the road, take it. That's a funny statement. He was known for his non sequiturs, but some have interpreted that statement to mean that you shouldn't be so fearful of making the wrong choice that you don't make any choice. Don't get stuck when you're at a decision point. Sometimes taking action and moving forward is better than just staying stuck. You may only know with hindsight which decision would have been best to make, but then again, you may never know which one would have been best. Don't let yourself be defined by your past. You can change how you perceive the past. The way you look at the past can shape your hopes about the present and the future. Don't let the past hold you hostage. When you take steps to address past regrets, you can change the impact of the past on your present and on your future. Learn from past mistakes and experiences to create a better present and future for yourself. Don't drag the chains of the past into your present and future. I have a refrigerator magnet that says, "Don't let yesterday take up too much of today." And that's a quote from Will Rogers. The good news is that none of us needs to define ourselves by our past. Any life event doesn't have to permanently define us and keep us from being a complete and healthy, functioning person. Forgiveness is a really important element of dealing effectively with the past. When you forgive someone, it can't change your past, but it can change your present and future. Not forgiving someone can trap you in reliving emotional pain and not being able to move on. It can even cause chronic destructive stress that can affect your physical health by increasing your risks of anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, heart disease, and a weakened immune system. You may become so wrapped up in a past wrong that you can't enjoy the present. When you forgive someone, it can take away the power that the other person has had in your life. Forgiving someone benefits you as well as them. It lets you reclaim your own peace and freedom and lets you move on. Sometimes it's essential for emotional and spiritual health. In the Jewish religion, there's a ritual called Tashlich, which is performed during the afternoon of Rosh Hashanah, which is the first day of the Jewish New Year. Jews go to a natural flowing body of water, like a stream. They recite special prayers and then cast away breadcrumbs or natural objects such as pebbles or leaves. This ceremony symbolizes the casting off of sins, shortcomings, and bad habits from the past year, so that you can begin the new year with a clean slate. It's a physical, tangible, and typically communal act of repentance, a letting go of actions that no longer serve you and that may have gotten in the way of your personal growth and renewal. The past can be a powerful tool to help you deal with the present. Along with two friends, I hiked the Appalachian Trail from Western Connecticut to its end at Mount Katahdin in Maine. We did this in 1972 when I was 21, so it was a long time ago. And it was during the summer between our junior and senior years in college. We hiked 670 miles in 70 days. This experience was the single most important experience of my life. During that trip, I learned a lot about myself and about my friends. The most important thing I learned was that I had the willpower to make myself do anything, including persevere through bad weather, pain, and hunger. That trip has been a great source of pride, inspiration, strength, and encouragement for me, and remembering it has helped me keep going during difficult times in my life. You can use the past to your advantage. Use it as a resource and a tool to deal with the present, and don't repeat the mistakes of the past. Older people can sometimes handle adversity better than younger people because of all the things the older people have experienced and been through during their lives. So that's some comfort in growing old. There are some good things about it. It's very important to learn to live in the present moment. Focusing on and living in the present moment can be a saving grace. Being fully present helps you connect better with people. It's important to see the good in your present life and actively practice gratitude. During my Sunday morning 20-mile drives to the UU Bridge service, I usually think about whether or not I'd like to say something during our joys and sorrows time. My trip here has become my once a week, at least, time to think about the good and bad things that have happened during the week. I practice gratitude for even the bad things because I know I often learn the most from situations that didn't work out like I would have liked them to. Dwelling on the past can blind us to the blessings and opportunities of the present moment. In summary, you do have to give up hope for a better past. No one can actually change the past, but there are ways you can effectively deal with it and use it to your advantage. You can benefit from all your life experiences, whether they've been positive or negative. As Mandy Hale said, to get over the past, you first have to accept that the past is over. No matter how many times you revisit it, analyze it, regret it, or sweat it, it's over. These are the things I've learned during my life about how to deal best with my past. I'm definitely a work in progress, but these are the things I try to do. Avoid beating myself up about the past, accept the big decisions I've made, and try not to second guess them. Be defined by who I am in the present rather than who I was in the past. Be forgiving of myself and others. Use my past as a source of strength and pride, and do my best to live in the present. I'll leave you with 2 quotes. Maya Angelou said, "If you must look back, do so forgivingly. If you must look forward, do so prayerfully. However, the wisest thing you can do is to be present in the present, gratefully." This next quote is from Winnie the Pooh, who is one of my favorite philosophers. "What is it?" asked Pooh. "It's today, sweet piglet, my favorite day," said Pooh. I'd like to thank Rev. Lauren, Will and Sue Daniels, and Bill and Madeline Bynum for the insightful comments and suggestions they made on an earlier version of my sermon. I'd also like to thank Gary and Joy for their assistance with the music. I'd also like to thank my dog Elsa for listening to this sermon many times and for helping me to live in the present. Those dogs are really good at living in the present. We are going to do a modified Tashlik ritual now. I've got a tall glass cylinder on the table here. It's filled with water, and I also have some molten glass marbles in the can right there. And you're all welcome to come up here, get a flattened glass marble, and drop it into the cylinder to symbolically cast away something from your past so it will no longer have any influence on you. And after this ritual, if time allows, we'll have a community conversation in which you're welcome to share a past experience and how you've handled it, or you're welcome to share a reflection on some issue brought up during the sermon.